Welcome to the Ambitious Broker Podcast, where elite real estate professionals share their secrets to success, discuss topics impacting their industry, and gain professional development insights. Enjoy today's episode.
Welcome everyone to today's episode of Ambitious Broker. We're with Hosep Stepanian today, and Hosep is an ambitious broker, and I'm really glad to have him with us. And he's he's going to fall in this category of ambitious agents that falls under the umbrella of ambitious brokers. So just to recap real fast, we'll be talking to iconic agents. We're going to be talking about the mindset to be good at real estate. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the industry. Some of the current topics of interest, and there's a bunch of them now. And then, of course, the historic icon agents. So with that, I'd like to just introduce everyone to Hosep and welcome you.
Thank you. Good morning. My name's Hosep Stepanian. Work here at Broker and Trust. Been a broker for about 8 years, and I've been a part of Broker and Trust now for about 4 years.
4 years, right. Okay, so when did you start? You started in 06?
2006.
2006.
November of 2006.
So my questions are, and now you're only 36?
36.
36 years old. So you started 20?
I started right around 22.
22 years old.
Right out of college.
Okay. Oh, so you went to college?
Yeah, CSUN, right next door.
Okay, so the question is, let me start by just saying, Hosep is now has been very successful at what you do. I know you're having, 6-figure monthly incomes and doing extraordinarily well. And you've been doing well for a long time, actually. You've had a good commitment. I know that you've not only have you been productive, but you've also volunteered time with the association, and you've gotten, it's broadened your perspective, I guess, a little bit that way and so forth. But so let's start at the beginning here, and let's find out what was it about real estate. So you were in college. Did you have your mind made up then that you were going to do that?
No, I did not actually. I was a business law major, and the plan was to go to law school. But I graduated. I was driving down the street with my cousin, saw a real estate school training, went in there, took the class, took the test, passed, and started in real estate and kind of put law school in the back burner. And then I saw the potential. I saw the potential of real estate. I saw what some big producers were producing and what they were driving and the lifestyle they had. And I saw that's something that I could accomplish and something I want to strive to.
And you want to jump into it fast.
Yeah. I didn't want to. I didn't want to wait because I knew it was going to be difficult. I didn't know it was going to be this difficult in the beginning. It wasn't a smooth ride in the beginning, but consistency is very, very key in real estate.
Well, what was so difficult in the very beginning when you were starting?
22-year-old kid. Nobody really trusts me. Nobody knows. I can make a transaction happen, and I didn't at that time. It took me a while to get started, but family, friends, cousins, nobody really wanted to give me the chance. So I had to prove myself with other types of clients. I didn't have a referral base at that time, so I had to start getting clients in different ways until my success kind of paved the road for people seeing, what I'm doing, what I'm investing in, what I'm driving.
Right.
And sooner or later, they could, they understand what I'm doing, and they kind of understand that I could.
You're serious.
I'm serious. This is my career.
Right.
It's not a game. It's not my side gig. This is my career. This is what I do.
Right. And so in the very beginning then, did you actually sense that people just didn't want to do business with you because you were young, or you just sort of think that now?
I think it was because I was young. I looked young. I was young. I was really aggressive. I was ambitious. I always, I'm really upbeat. So I attracted some people.
Yeah, you have a lot of energy.
Yeah. So energy is key. So I did attract people, and I had some good mentors on the way to point me in the right direction with a couple different things, and started getting my database together, and started from the beginning, the foundation work.
So the very first few sales, the very first clients that you represented, what was the source?
The source was, one of them was sitting on, call it the office,
Like floor time?
Floor time.
Yeah.
I had a floor time call. I had a for-sale by owner I converted into a listing and sold it myself. I had an open house lead I gathered. I represented my parents in a transaction the first year.
Right.
So,
Everyone's got to do that, right?
Yeah. My parents were lucky enough to invest at that time, so
Yeah.
I represented them. So that was one of the few transactions I did couple years.
Yeah, I was like that when I first started too. It's like, I was 21, but I looked 14, everybody said, So it was tough. And I used to get asked that question all the time. What do you think was hard because you were young? And for me, my answer was, I don't know who didn't want to do business with me. I only know who did. We only measure by our successes, right? We don't measure by, you don't often know what people don't like or if they don't want to be around you or they don't trust you yet. So you just you got to kind of plow through, right? And find that person.
Find that person and kind of, attract what you want.
Right.
I want to attract normal clients, aggressive, normal buyers, or, sellers were awesome, but, it was buyers in the beginning. You would focus more on buyers. Sellers, listings were a little bit more difficult in the beginning.
Right. So then you were working for sell by owners right out of the gate.
Yeah. For sell by owners, the first 2-3 years.
Just looking them up in the paper and start making phone calls.
Driving by, driving any sign you see, stop, knock, pull up title, get their address, start mailing them, start dropping by as much as possible. And it was like a 75-year-old man. And I told him, this is my first transaction, when it got down to it. And he's like, yeah, I like you. I'm giving you a chance.
Right.
I'm giving you a chance. That's all it took.
Right.
All I needed is that one chance. I went for sell by owner listing, and I got that like $6,000-$7,000 paycheck at that time, and I was like, wow.
And you didn't lie to the guy.
No, I was totally upfront. I told him, hey, look, I have good mentors. I have a manager. I have a broker. I've been trained. I know what I'm doing. I just need, a start.
Get started, right?
Yeah, I need to get started somewhere. So he gave me that chance.
I remember when I went through training, and this is like in the 70s. That's how long ago it was. But one of the trainers said, when everything else fails on the listing appointment, say, I can sell your house.
That's a good quote.
That's it. I can sell your house.
Yeah, you cannot, if they believe you, they trust you, and...
So 3 months later, I had started farming. And I'm walking on the street one day, and I see a real estate agent walk out of a house. And so I go to the door after the agent had left. I go, is that a real estate agent? Yeah. And basically I says, well, can I talk to you about selling your house too? Because I'm a real estate agent also. And she says, well, can you give my husband a call in the morning? So I said, okay. So 7 o'clock in the morning I called, and the guy answered the phone, and we talked for a few minutes. He was an insurance salesman. Oh, wow. So to your point, and this is a good message to people, I think, and that is that I was just ambitious, and I was just coming. Didn't lie. Never lie, but I would just keep coming and be very honest about the things. Yeah, very consistent and keep coming. So I call this guy up and I'm pitching just to get an appointment, just to get in the house. And I wasn't having any luck. And finally the guy says to me, can I ask you a question? How old are you? And I said, yeah, I'm 21. And he says, well, how long have you been doing this? Well, I says, well, to be honest with you, I just started. I says, but I tell you, I'm so ambitious and I'm so, so excited to get rolling, get started. I swear to you, I'll be able to do a good job for you. So I just flashed back on what the guy said. And the guy says, okay, well, meet me here at 5 o'clock this afternoon. And
you got your appointment.
And I got my listing. I mean, he literally agreed to list with me just like that. But the point, I think, is, and the good lesson for the ambitious people listening, and, we have millions and millions of viewers. So soon, yeah. So, but the lesson really is that idea that you just show them your enthusiasm, and you show them. Yeah,
that's big. Yeah. I use that as very key. Smile a lot, be very presentable, be on time. It's just 50% of the battle is just you don't have to be smart. Now, being smart helps, of course. When you get in there and you look good and you act good and the energy's good and you're ambitious, now you got to know what to talk about and you have to have the knowledge. But 50% of it's you don't have to be smart at all.
Right.
It's just getting there on time, presentable. But energy, being ambitious, being consistent, being aggressive is the foundation, is the building blocks that I was trained.
So you'd mentioned now a couple of times be presentable.
Yeah.
And so I have noticed that about you, because I'm not going to lie to people. I've known Hosep for a long time and been impressed by the things you know that already, so I don't have to tell you. But I do notice that you always look like this.
I try. I think the mindset in the morning when I'm getting dressed is for success. Right. I want to have a successful day, and I try as much as I can to dress successful.
Right.
I remember the beginning when I started, the motto was "fake it till you make it." Fake it till you make it. And I bought my BMW, and I couldn't afford it, but I bought it, and I faked it. Now it's just part, being presentable, being a business person. Real estate, you really have to be a business person if you want to be successful. That's the bottom line.
Show up every day. You were going to be an attorney, and if you had been an attorney, you would have shown up every day.
Yeah, and I would have probably
worked for some law firm that had you working
for like 10, 20 years.
Yeah, 18 years a day you've been working. 18 hours a day, rather.
So me personally, I could never, I don't think, work for anyone.
Well, the industry trend has been, lower the standards on dress and things like that. It's almost like, it's cool to not dress up. Yeah. And so you obviously don't buy into that.
I don't buy into that. No, I don't buy into that. What the clients that I work with, the clients that I go see, the type of people I work with in this area, it's better to be like this. Now, if I worked in Marina Del Rey, or if I worked in Malibu, or I don't know, Cancun, depending on the area I worked in, I might have to dress down. But in this West Valley environment,
right.
I believe it's the best to look your best and be professional and, at all times,
Well, I always say that the real estate businesses, you sell credibility and you manage information. And so I still don't understand the decline in the way people dress. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in purchases and even commissions being paid in some cases. And my whole thing was, if you're selling credibility, then all of the things we see on TV, and understand these guys in broadcasting are the ones who have made a science out of persuasiveness, right? And so I don't care if you're watching the news, 60 Minutes, sportscasts, documentaries. Those guys are always in suits and ties. Always in suits and ties. Yeah. So you seldom see these guys dressed down. And I still believe the science of it is that if you're going to be credible, you want to walk in wearing that badge. And I just think it's really important.
It's kind of, I think it's our uniform.
Yeah.
Other people don't consider it like that, but I think a suit, tie, this and that, it's just part of the uniform. So if I worked for McDonald's, I would have to wear their uniform.
Right.
I believe this is the correct uniform for what we do.
Yeah, to look professional, whatever. So when you first started, then you had for sale by owners and you had floor time.
Correct.
Now nobody does floor time.
There's
anymore.
no floor time, no more. But I used to do, no joke, 2-3 deals a year every year on floor time.
Right.
And one of the things I actually learned, another thing that I did the first 2-3 years, was door knocking.
Right.
Due to what you set place and what you recommended at that time.
Right.
And it was, door knocking was to make sure you're consistent, make sure you have a plan. And the whole thing was just to get out there.
Right.
Just to meet people.
Right.
And consistently go out there and, give good information. But
so did you have any numbers? Were you like, I'm going to door knock 50 doors a week or a day, or any like general plan like that?
I did have a general plan. My farm at that time was about 1,000 homes. So I would go 4 times a week, about 30 to 40 doors a day. 30 to 40 doors a day. And that was consistently for a while. And in the beginning, like the first year, I didn't get one listing. Right. But then an expired came out, and I ended up getting that listing.
In that area that you knocked?
Farm,
kind of farm area.
In that farm area, yeah.
Right.
So I did. I ended up getting, one guy promised me whenever he sells, he called me. I listed that home. And I did start gaining traction in the farm.
Right.
Unfortunately, I didn't continue. And now my business is set up a little bit different.
Right. What made you keep going? Because that's the hard part. Like with farming, of course, when I had my company, that was a big start of, a big part of how we started was farming. But everybody in our original group saw farm success. They could see people around them. So it was rare that someone would go a year and not do something, but we did have some. And it's amazing that people will keep working through it,
I had nothing else to do. I knew that I was prospecting and it was important and it was a part of the training, so I had to listen.
You saw some success too.
Oh, yeah, there was success and, it was just a part of my daily routine. I had to get into that, put your pride on the self, go knock on doors and learn. I didn't know any better.
Right.
I didn't know any better. So I had to go out there and see what it was about and kind of go through the steps myself. Experience the whole thing myself.
So when did this start shifting for you? Let me a better question. So how early did you start feeling like, okay, I got this. I can be good at this. I can make a lot of money. I can build a good long-term career and I can set myself up the way I want my life to look.
It wasn't till like probably 2010 or 11 when I actually hit six figures. So when I saw that and I was able...
It took you 4 years.
Yeah, it took me 4 years. It took me 4 years to... And, I was in debt in the fourth year from the first 2-3 years.
Right.
But I saw the big picture. So I kind of started seeing people that were older than me, what they were doing, how many properties they had. Like one guy was Stuart Irvine. How many properties he owned. Another one, Tom Min. How many properties he owned. And I saw what the passive income looked like and what these people were working towards. And I said, why not me? I can do that.
Right.
I can do that.
Tom, excuse me. Tom had one of the great lines ever about farming. Did you ever hear the story about the Postman?
No. Oh, yeah. How many?
He goes, I just figured, all I have to do is be like the postman. And if I am, I'll get paid 10 times as much.
Basically.
And it was true. I mean, so he was a classic farmer. And he would go out and door knock much more than I did, even I think, But this idea that's what the postman does. So
why can't we do it?
Why can't we?
If they can do for 8 hours, we can door knock for at least 2.
Right.
Minimum.
Yeah, and he did, and was very successful because of it. So then, all right. So now you're 4 years in this thing, and you're finally saying, okay, I'm starting to feel like I can make things happen. And was that a line that you've crossed yet, where you feel like, I used to always say that cancer, insecurity is a cancer of real estate salespeople.
So I've already, my mindset is already. Look, I've had my track record. I know I'm going to make X amount every year. So I just got to do it. So you got to get past that. If you're negative or you're stressed out or you get into it with, hey, I'm not going to be able to close the deals, you're already off on the wrong foot.
Right.
Reset your mind, get in a positive outlook. And that's how it was. And then
it matters, doesn't it?
Big time. Mindset.
Yeah, because all of a sudden things come from places that you didn't expect.
Yeah.
And
that happens all the time. And then I haven't had a listing, I get a call. Come list me.
Right.
I get a referral. It just, but you have to be out there. It's a numbers game.
Right.
It's how many fishing poles do I have out there at all times.
Right.
And then in 2010-11, luckily, I had another mentor, Mike Anderson, and I got into it, and he had an REO account. So I started doing BPOs.
Right.
I'll do like 20 BPOs a week.
Yeah.
For a year. 2 years I did BPOs until we got our REOs. And then we were doing, 10, 20 REOs a year. So that was my basis at that time. From like 2010-11 to 2014-15, it was the REO game.
Right.
So I was able to establish myself there.
So you were doing that and learning the business. When I say learning the business, I mean learning about transactions.
Correct.
Ultimately, that's what you sell, right? You sell how to help people get through the transactions. They think you sell a house and whatever, but we don't sell a house. We sell
the
service. Right.
Yeah, I sell the service. I try to make it from A to Z from the beginning, as less stress as possible. Make it buying a home should be a happy moment.
Right.
So it should be a happy, positive. So you try to keep that energy. and you try to, in the background, make sure everything's working together with the escrow, with the loan, just making sure all the puzzle pieces are coming into place to make it a positive and end the transaction on a positive note. And that's how you get referrals.
Right.
That's how you get referrals. Doing a great job, going above and beyond what people expect.
Yeah, you have to be around long enough you have to expect to be in the business long enough that this good service will come back to you.
Yeah. Oh, it comes back.
That's that, in my mind was always the short term or career mentality. You said earlier, I don't have another gig. There wasn't going to be another gig. You never had plan B.
No, this was it.
Yeah.
This was it. And I had some hiccups in the while. I went for a week. I tried telemarketing to supplement my income in real estate. It lasted a week. I couldn't do it.
Right.
I tried investing in a couple different.
You're thinking if I was doing telemarketing, I could do it for myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it got to that point, but I was investing in a couple other things. I always got back to real estate. My investment in real estate has always paid me more. In people, in properties, it just comes back in my opinion, much better.
Right.
My return.
So you don't farm today.
I do not.
Okay. So your real sphere, referral based.
Correct.
And I don't mean referral based in terms of you just wait for people to call you.
No.
You're assertive in reaching out to people.
I have many different groups of people, friends, family, my network. My network is good. And I give other people business, in different industries they're in. So it's kind of scratch my back, scratch your back, and people know that I'm good.
Yeah.
So they're going to refer me business after they see what kind of transaction I could help them.
They hear and you. So how many people? Because you know that my rule number one is that your income is proportionate to how many people know you and trust you, respect you, and all that. Yeah. And so in that sphere of your world, how many people do you think you have the ability to touch through one or two layers of people?
One or two layers of people that I think of the people that are really hooked in and wouldn't ever consider going to anybody else. For brokers, probably I would say maybe 200-300 people.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That are really, I have 1,000, 2,000 in my database. But
right.
People that are like my cheerleaders,
right.
People that I could say, hey, look, if they hear of someone that wants to do something, they're going to refer them to me.
Right.
And
but on the peripheral, you have from that 300 to 1,000 in your database.
Yeah, I have about 1,000 people in my database.
Okay.
Correct.
So you are reaching out to those 1,000 people in some methodology.
Correct. Email,
but from 300 to 1,000 is a little bit more distant. Yes. Not quite as cooked into you yet.
Yeah, I would say they're more, they know me, they know who I am, they get my emails, but I'm not sure if they'll refer me or recommend me. But that's the point. That's what I'm trying to get to have more people than 200-300 people, hopefully one day.
Right. So when you're actually working with a client, what's the most important thing you think in building the kind of relationship that gets you this referral business in the future?
I think more importantly than anything is just having them trust you. Be truthful. Tell them exactly like you would explain it to your parents or your brother. Represent them to the best of your ability.
Right.
So it's not about the outcome. It's about the process and how I'm going to help through the process.
Right.
So like you said, we're service-based. It's not even about the property. It's what we're going to do after we get the property in escrow and the steps that come.
Right. Right. So is it, like as example, I always felt that trying to be proactive, always try to stay ahead of them one thought.
Dominoes.
What's coming next?
Dominoes.
What's coming next? And stay in front of them that way.
Yeah.
You find that's true?
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. You in real estate, you already see 2-3 dominoes ahead. And the better you could gauge that and the better you could have, okay, there's 3 things that could happen based on X. Now you could prepare for those 3 things. And one of those is going to happen. So then you go back to your client and you're already ready. You already know. So it's almost natural. Real estate almost comes naturally now. I don't have to, it's not scripts anymore.
Right.
I don't have to close people.
Right.
It's just telling them the truth, consulting them, having them understand, and showing them why you could represent them the best out of anyone out there.
Right. But you have to get out in front of 1,000 people.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to be out in front of people, or out of sight, out of mind, kind of.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Ambitious Broker Podcast, where elite real estate professionals share their secrets to success, discuss topics impacting their industry, and gain professional development insights. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please rate it and leave a review.